and welcome to Your Money, Your Life with Sherrill Braswell this morning. We're so excited. This morning we're going to talk about real estate, and that always gets everybody excited. It's a very exciting topic. But Sherrill, right off the bat, I'm going to ask you, why invest in real estate?
It's several reasons. Good question. Why should I be investing in real estate? Cash flow, you can set up streams of income. Your real estate investments over time, more than likely, are going to be going up in value. Just the actual value of your original purchase. Real estate over time has proven to be a pretty effective hedge against inflation. And what do I mean by that? When inflation is going up, normally real estate values will start to kind of creep up also during that period of time.
Sure.
And when those prices go up, if you're rental properties, guess what? You can make a case for raising your rents.
Yes.
As far as that goes, so that helps you out also. And the other thing too, I'm not a tax person, a CPA or anything like that, but there are tax advantages, to having property. You get to deduct your expenses that you have for making repairs, managing that property, things of that nature. So that's to me, that's your main drivers, behind why do I want to get into some type of a real estate market.
Well, how do you get started? How can you invest in real estate?
There's two ways to do this. And I've got personal experience in both of them. One is to go into the real estate world through what are called real estate investment trust.
Right.
And a real estate investment trust is it's a stock, but a real estate investment trust is a company that you're buying shares of stock in, and that company manages different types of real estate.
Okay.
Example for you, there are real estate investment trusts that manage hospitals. They may own the hospital, they may just manage that building. The contract between who Vidant, for example, or UNC or whoever it is, that entity and that property. So they manage those properties. There are real estate trusts that manage malls, real estate trusts that manage business parks, manage medical parks, manage senior living centers.
Right.
So it's just real estate trusts are varied in the types of things that they do, as well as the geographic areas they work in. So you can design a portfolio of real estate trust and be about as diverse as you want to get. Data centers is a big thing going on in real estate trust now.
Wow.
And, 10 years ago, data centers were not a thing.
Right.
So it's doing the real estate trust, and then the other thing is just going in and purchasing real property. Getting a rental house or getting a commercial building that you're going to be renting out to people. So there's your two avenues. And one with the real estate trust, the great thing there is a wonderful way for John Q. Public to get in without having to have a huge amount of money.
Right.
Because you literally can get into real estate trust for $50 a month.
Wow.
Whereas if I'm going to buy a property, I'm going to need
you're going to need some cash.
More than that. I got to have purchase money, down payment, however I do that, financing. I've got to be able to make those payments, while we're getting things up and running, make the repairs, so that it takes some cash to do that. So the REIT has a lower, and that's my shorthand for the real estate investment trust is a REIT.
Well, people hear the word REIT all the time and they don't know what it is. So there you go. He just told you what a REIT is.
Yeah, and so that's how you can get in there.
Yes,
that's how you can get in there. Yeah.
So which makes the most?
They're very close. They're very close. Seriously, over time, residential, if you're like flipping houses, for example, if you're flipping houses over time, and I think these numbers were based on like the last 30, 40 years, you're probably going to make somewhere between 10 and 11% returns, flipping houses.
Right.
Over time. Commercial properties, pretty close, about 9 to 10% returns on commercial properties.
Okay.
The REITs have a little bit higher average. They're like between 11 and 12%. And it depends, a lot of it, I think, on your personality. Because you think about it, if I have physical properties, and I did this back in the late 70s, early 80s, you get the phone calls at 2 o'clock in the morning, my toilet's broke.
Yes. Oh, yes.
My heater has broken down.
Yes,
you get those phone calls. And you're responsible for making those repairs, making sure they get done. The general maintenance on the property, it's got to be done. Keep the paint right, and fix broken windows, things like that. So you have a lot more responsibility in the real properties. The REITs, you don't own that property.
Right.
You own shares in that company that manages the property. So they're going to make the primary decisions. And again, that's where you've got to do your due diligence and learn about that particular REIT and learn about how they have those properties managed. Who does it? And read up, do your study on those companies, on their management teams, and see what their history is. And believe me, that information is out there. I mean, it's out there. You just got to do some due diligence, or you can come and talk to me. I can help you find those things.
Sure. You should always, if you don't know a lot about these things, I mean, it does take time to research. You might want to contact somebody who can help you.
Yeah.
Don't just jump into something that you don't know a lot about, even though you think it's a good thing. You need to know a little bit about it. So you need to contact somebody like Sherrill, who does know a little bit more than I would.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
And you have to think about. I tell people, if you're going to do this, I don't care if you're going into real property or going into real estate investment trust. You got to have the proper mindset. And when I say that, I mean, like, this is not day trading.
Right.
This takes time. This takes time. But the rewards are there. The rewards are there. There are excellent, I call them, well, the term for it is like swans, sleep well at night.
Right.
And there are real estate trusts that have, for example, that have been paying a dividend for 25 years straight, never missed a beat. And there are real estate investment trusts that have been paying dividends for 50 years.
Wow.
And never missed a beat. So what does that tell you? That's probably a pretty safe, substantial operation that you can study on a little bit and start getting involved in it.
Well, Sherrill, I'm hearing, I heard a couple of people tell me recently, they get their statement from whatever company, they get their statement and they say, oh, the economy, it's going down, it's going down, it's going down. Well, we're in it for the long haul. Let's we know that. But some people don't like this, and they're saying, I've heard two people say, I'm going to get some of my money out and put it in real estate.
Right.
And they're doing it.
Yeah.
They're doing it.
And that's the other thing. I'm not actively involved in real property anymore. Got some, done some purchases with raw land, but not rental properties. But the thing I like about the REITs is, if you look at their history, because my clients who are retired, the biggest concern, am I going to get my money every month? Where is it coming from?
Yes.
And with real estate trust, one of their primary drivers, two things. One is a dividends, and you can get dividends on a monthly and a quarterly basis. So you can have a check a month club going on. And the fabulous thing about if you look at the dividend history in a lot of REITs, the good REITs, even when the market was down, that dividend stayed pretty constant.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to be freaked out if you watch CNBC this morning and the market's dropping 500 points.
Right.
And I have people who do that from time to time.
Yes.
I tell them, turn that thing off.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't always watch that.
Yeah. But that gives you a pretty constant income stream,
Right.
and without having to worry about the day-to-day gyrations of the stock price, because that's just what I truly love about the REITs. I know my stock prices can fluctuate, but over time, they're generally going uphill.
Mm-hmm.
But the great news is my dividend check has stayed just about the same every month. It might
Right.
vary just a little bit, but so that to me is one of the great benefits there.
Well, I appreciate you talking about this morning, because I hear a lot of people wanting to get into real estate and don't know how and don't know what to do. So if you don't know what to do, well, you can call Sherrill, and he will certainly help you.
Yeah.
What's your number, Sherrill?
The main office number, 252-316-8166. And please leave a message. If somebody doesn't answer the phone, we try to have a live human being answer it. But sometimes it gets crazy and we can't quite pull that off. So
And there's the number right there.
Yeah, 252-316-8166.
And do call, like
Yeah.
Cheryl says. Make sure you call for an appointment, because there are people that, I think this is a wonderful service you provide, going into homes of people that just can't get out.
Yeah.
And helping them. So he may be out servicing another customer.
Yeah.
So call, make an appointment. But where are you located?
Yeah, corner of Country Club Road and Hunter Hill. If you step out of the front door of the Pizza Inn and look over to your left, there's a row of buildings sitting on the corner, and we're in the one that's on the far right-hand end, closest to the intersection.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. Well, Cheryl, thank you this morning. This was really good info. Appreciate you being here. Is there
Yes, ma'am.
anything else that we left out this morning?
I think
Anything
we
else?
pretty well hit it.
Okay.
Just, either way is a good way to do it. If you're going to do real property, obviously find you a good real estate agent. I know several of them, so I can tell you who to call.
Okay.
Guarantee.
Sounds good. Okay, thank you, and we'll see you back in 2 weeks.
Yes, ma'am.
So, 2 or 3 weeks. I think there's an extra week in
Here.
February,
Okay.
believe it or not. But anyway, all right, we'll see you back soon, and we'll see you right back. We're going to talk about your heart health and how to eat. We've got the dietitian in the house.